Everything working well, and I think we figured most of it out, so hopefully there won't be too many weird transitions or anything like that today. But if you're joining us on Instagram people, you may want to check us out on YouTube or check us out on one of our Facebook pages instead. You basically get a little bit better experience. We've got multiple cameras and stuff going on there as opposed to just a single, basically a single phone doing what Instagram wants you to do. So basically, that's what we got going on today. We're going to kick it off with showing you some of the newest products from Exedy. Exedy Racing Clutch, made in Japan products here, and this is their Stage 2 Cerametallic, and it fits a number of Honda applications. Take a look here. So it's basically a 3-puck cerametallic disc with a sprung hub. It comes with the flywheel. That's a chromoly flywheel, SFI approved. And the cover here, it's a stamped steel cover with an upgraded spring. So you get a bit more clamping force from this, and you get a very, very, very quick, easy shifting vehicle due to a relatively light clutch weight. Although it has a sprung hub, which adds some mass to it versus a solid, it does still have friction material and a disc construction that pretty much limits the weight of the disc as a whole and really reduces the inertia, because it's more important how much weight you have on the outside than the inside. So when you put this in your vehicle, you're going to have a clutch that shifts extremely quick. It has pretty good power handling capabilities. On this one in particular, let's see here. Let's see if we can pull it up here. Does it have it? Yeah, torque capacity, about 224 foot-pounds is what they rated at. So it's basically for your, all-motor combination or something like that. Not the clutch you want to use for a turbo application. Now, if you do have a turbo application and you're looking for something to make that work great for you, you're going to want to take a look at this clutch right here. Now, Exedy makes a number of multi-plate clutches. This is the Exedy Racing Hyper Competition Series. They make both twin plate and triple plate clutches. Take a look at the setup here. So as you notice, the clutch cover itself is billet aluminum, and it has that cool purple color. And as we turn this over, notice this with the diaphragm. They actually have 2 diaphragms in there to give it an additional clamping force. And as we move down into the clutch itself, we have, this is the actual friction surface that's working off of the spring. This basically composes your pressure plate, but like we saw on this clutch here, everything's kind of integrated together. But on the multi-plate, they make that separate so that in the future, if you want to service it, you're able to just replace this portion here in case that got any type of extreme wear or anything of that nature to it. You also notice, I haven't seen this before, but it is an engineering feature on here where they actually slot this. And not knowing for sure what it's used for, I would suspect it's very much like a slotted brake rotor, in the sense that it's allowing the friction material to outgas and keeping that plate on there without having that buildup. Now here we look at the clutches here, and we went to a solid hub. So solid hub, you're definitely reducing or minimizing the mass that you have, as we got a 6-puck cerametallic, and this is the floater in the middle. So the floater has a hard job in a multi-disc clutch. It's not touching anything big enough to kind of help dissipate the heat. So heat management is critical, and basically choosing the right friction material, choosing the right pressure, having the right clutch setup and design is going to make sure that you have a good long life with your floater and avoid any type of warping. Very, very, very simple carrier here for both of the clutches. So just a single splined hub here that fits in here. And then of course the flywheel, chromoly flywheel. Now, one of the things that's nice about this one is it has the starter gear integrated. Now, from a service point, that's a bad thing because you can't replace it. But from a performance point, it's one less thing that can come off of the flywheel or detach and stuff in case you have a real extreme failure of any point. One of the things people sometimes do is they don't understand that the clutch speed of these little discs right here is related to what gear you're in and also how fast you're going. And I remember a long time ago, I found that out the hard way when I first got a sequential transmission in my GTR, my R33 GTR, and I had made the dyno run, and I'm like, okay, I want to put this thing in neutral and let it coast down. Well, I was probably going, I don't know, 140, 150 on the dyno, and I pushed in the clutch, thinking, okay, I pushed in the clutch, everything's going to be fine, and went down through the gears. And I think by the time I got to about second gear, I had probably had this clutch speed up to about 18,000 RPM, and it just exploded. And fortunately, everything was contained and no damage was done, except mainly to the clutch and my ego at that point. But it was a good lesson to learn and something you should always think about, that your clutch speed is related to what gear you're in and the speed of the vehicle. So before we go on, any questions about the setups here from Exity? What I want you guys to know is we're here for live Q&A. If you guys want to know more about a product or just that general category of products, you have any clutch question right now, we'd like to help you out. So go ahead.
What goes into rebuilding a 4-stage clutch?
What do they mean by 4-stage? I'm not sure what that means. But in any case, any clutch, as far as rebuilding it, what you're looking at is where has there been wear? Where has there been any type of warpage? Multi-disc clutches, like I said, the obvious victim and the common victim can be the floater of all the plates that are in here. The flywheel, it has a lot of mass and it can dissipate the heat that way. The pressure face here also has a pretty good deal of mass and it can kind of conduct heat away through the rest of the cover. But the poor little floater here, it's in the middle and it's surrounded by two discs that are just beating up on it. So when things go wrong, when clutches start to lose engagement and stuff like that, a lot of times it's because you've basically warped this here. And making sure that doesn't happen is, like I said, it's part of the engineering of it, it's part of the driving of it, not using too much, it's not slipping the clutch excessively when you don't need to. So that's one part of it. So you want to check that all the surfaces aren't worn too much, the surfaces aren't having any type of issue with warpage, make sure everything's flat and straight, and that's part of it. So all your steel surfaces have to be flattened out and conditioned. And then on the clutch discs, typically you're going to replace your linings. This is a cerametallic lining. It's a pretty simple affair. You would just basically take this to a place that has the ability to re-rivet it, or just purchase a new disc is probably the easier way. Yeah, question?
2 questions. So first question, how's the noise with multi-disc clutches? Should you expect a lot of chatter and noise?
Okay, so noise and chatter, they're actually 2 different things. I mean, chatter is an engagement issue. When you kind of let out the clutch and you get that shuddering in the car, that's what we consider chatter. Now noise, depending on the design, each design is going to have a different amount of noise. Some of them are on the quieter side, others are more on the louder side. And yeah, typically you get noise from things such as the floater rattling in here. You've got posts in here, you've got the floater kind of in here, and you kind of got that going on. When you push in the clutch pedal, everything gets released and there's, nothing's pushing on everything, so it's like that. Now as soon as you let off, it goes away. So the only time you get noise is when you're actually pushing down that clutch pedal and you're getting the clutch to release. Then yeah, you get some stuff moving around. And like I said, there's different clutches with different designs on the multi-disc, how to do it. Some people will add straps, some people will do different things as far as how everything's held in there, and that all makes a difference in how much noise it will generate. Any other questions on that? Oh, yes.
Okay. When you have a twin disc clutch, do you need to have a longer input shaft?
No, that's a good question. Basically, they'll basically set up the geometry so that the input shaft, where it's riding on and stuff, the hub that's going to go on there is going to sit in the right spot. So that's kind of all done for you. The only issue you run into is if you have a vehicle that you put a transmission swap in, you have to make sure that you've got the right splines on the clutch disc that's going in there and that everything gets positioned. When we built a custom clutch for my R33 GTR, we had to actually put everything up in CAD and have them make a custom flywheel that would move everything to the right location, so that you can have the clutch cover in there, use the parts off the shelf, and in order to do that, we just made the flywheel do everything as far as the positioning. Any other questions? Okay, good, good, good. All right, so guys, we're gonna try to clean up our mess here a little bit, and as we do that, we're gonna just play a little short video here to show you some of the stuff that we did a few years back for a SEMA show project. This was a project that we worked with Lexus on, and we did a little bit of build on the same engine that you'll find in the GSF and LC500. It's actually a really cool engine, and I wish we got to do more with it. But this is what we did. Took the engine, basically made it bigger, made it stronger, and it's a pretty cool little video. So we'll roll that for you right now.